Hi, I'm Brooke, and I'm so excited to welcome you to Beam Boldly. As an NCAA Division I gymnast, I know firsthand what it feels like to carry the weight of performance, expectations, and identity. Here, we're going to talk about all of it. We're going to talk about mental health, performance anxiety, NIL, resilience, and of course, how faith is our foundation that carries us through all of that. Whether it's stepping onto the beam in competition or just stepping out in everyday life, we are called to live boldly, and we're called to let our light shine. The name Beam Boldly was inspired by the verse Matthew 5:16, which says, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." To me, that's what this podcast is all about. So if you're ready to hear raw conversations, find strength in faith, and be reminded that you are never walking this journey by yourself, join me as we step boldly into everyday life.
Hey guys, welcome back to Being Boldly. I am so excited for today's episode, as always. But today we have Hezly Rivera on. She is a 2024 Olympian and the 2025 U.S. National Champion. Welcome, Hezly. I'm so thankful to have you on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and just talk about gymnastics and my faith. So I'm just so happy that you guys took the time to reach out and have me here.
Yes, Hezly and I actually have a couple mutual friends. So shout out to Khalees. We love you.
Yes.
But I'm so glad that we have this connection so that we can make this happen because I know that you are such an inspiration in, of course, gymnastics, but also in your faith. So this platform of Being Boldly just gives you another way to talk about that and dive a little bit deeper into it. So without further ado, let's jump in, and why don't you just tell me about how you started gymnastics?
Yeah, I started gymnastics when I was 5 years old, and I was kind of just flipping around the house doing cartwheels and handstands. And then one time I kicked up to a handstand and went into a bridge, and my mom yelled, and she was so scared. She was like, "Oh my gosh." And then my sister ran out of her room. She's like, "Oh my gosh, she just did a handstand bridge or whatever." And she was like, "You need to put her in gymnastics," because I had just been flipping around doing like crazy stuff in the house that was not safe at all. So my sister told my mom to put me in gymnastics. She was still kind of like skeptical a little bit. But then my best friend had a birthday party in a gym, and I was just on the trampoline, on the tumble track, running, flipping, doing cartwheels, everything. And then the coaches were like, "Oh, she has some potential. Like, you should put her in some classes." So my mom was like, "Okay, fine. I'll just see how this goes." And she put me in classes, and then I just kept going and never left. And it kind of just built up from there. So yeah, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just like having so much fun flipping. So my sister and my mom, huge shout out to them, and my friend who had a birthday party at the gym. So that's kind of how I started off. But yeah, it's been a very exciting journey so far, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
That's awesome. I love that. You just had the natural flipping abilities since you were a baby. At what point did you realize that you were like really good or that that Olympic dream could really be something you could accomplish?
Yeah, so I feel like really had the dreams of becoming an Olympian when I was 8, but I still wasn't like, "Oh, I'm here, like, I'm really good." And I think that kind of hit me when I was 15, where I was building up my skills and starting to get more upgrades on bars and beam, and my tumbling on floor had gotten upgraded a little bit, so I was like, "Oh, I could have a shot at making the Olympic team, like, for real, like, actually." So I feel like at 8 years old is when I was like, okay, I want to push to see where I can get. And then at 15, I was like, okay, I can actually do this. And I just had the best support system by my side, my friends, family, and teammates and coaches to continue pushing me, but also to encourage me through the hard times. So yeah, it's just been
Yeah.
a fun journey.
I love that, and I love how you talked about the people around you being so important through those years and supporting that dream because, of course, little eight-year-old Hezly had this dream, and she's like, "Oh, I wanna go for it," but it really makes a difference when you have the people beside you, like, helping you along
Right.
from, 8 until then, like, 15, 16 when you actually got to go to the Olympics, so,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
awesome. So, now let's shift a little bit. And why don't you tell me about the background of your faith, a little bit of your testimony, and kind of your story with that?
Yes. So we've always, my whole family and I have always believed in God and Jesus, and we always pray and read the Bible. But I feel like, so I used to do this online school called Abeka, and I think I was in fourth grade. I started in fourth grade and I did fourth and fifth grade in Abeka. And I had these Bible classes. So I would actually learn so much from it. And I would literally just watch a video of them teaching about the Bible and all the students in the class, and they would raise their hands and answer questions. So I was like so inspired by that, and I was like, I really want to learn more about God. So then I started telling like my family about it and then my friends too. So it was just like this whole little thing, and I would start reading my Bible. I would look up videos, and then I think TikTok was, like, Musical.ly at the time, so I would get so many videos, and I would just, like, search up videos about it too. But then I kind of started incorporating that into my gymnastics, and I saw the instant, like, switch, and it was, like, so weird because I had
Wow.
started praying before every day and then every turn that I took too, and I saw such a difference in my gymnastics, and I really just started putting my whole faith and trust in God, which has really gotten me to where I am today. So I'm just so grateful. And now I feel like we have such a strong background of faith, and my mom, especially, too. So I'm just very grateful for that and just continuing to follow his plan over anything.
That's so cool. Okay, so you said that you pray before every turn in the
Oh,
gym,
yeah.
or you would,
Yeah.
like, start to do that?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. What does that look like? Like, give me a little insight, a sneak peek into, like, what those prayers might be, because 'cause I'm guessing they're different depending on, what you're doing, but,
Yeah.
yeah, tell me about that.
So, like, before the gym, I'll always pray like, I'll thank God first for everything that I have and everything that He's given me and provided for my family, and then I'll always pray to like, for Him to keep me safe throughout the gym and just to protect me over anything, and that I'm so blessed and grateful to be here and for all the opportunities that He's given me. But, like, before every turn, if I mean, every gymnast gets a little nervous for something, so if I'm nervous or feeling a little bit of doubt, I'll just pray for him to give me confidence and the strength and the focus to do what I need to do and the power, energy, but also kind of just to like switch my mental focus a little bit so that he
Right.
works into my mental so I can have full control over that as well. And it's just, like, little things, like, sometimes I'll just say, like in my routine, I'm like, "Okay," like, I'll just say a little prayer or something before I go. So it's kinda just little things, and it's throughout the day too, and sometimes I don't even notice that I'm praying, I just, like, talk to God, like, and I don't even notice, I'm like, "Oh, wait." But I don't know. Yeah, it's just, like, stuff like that that I like to
Mhm.
do.
Well, I love that because, of course, the Bible tells us to pray constantly.
Yeah.
And it's really cool how, since, those little like Bible classes and Bible videos, your faith has grown so much to the point where now it's just like a common routine for
Oh,
you that
yeah.
sometimes you don't even realize it. And like that is where we want to be. Like that's like a goal that all of us should have, is that talking to God is comfortable and normal, right? It doesn't feel like
Yes.
this big intimidating thing. It's a testament to how you invite him into like every little thing, and how it's not just like on meet days, you're like all
Right.
of a sudden, "Oh, I have a competition today. This is the
Oh,
first
yeah.
time I'm gonna pray," you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, and I think that, you were kind of touching on this, but it makes such a big difference to just your perspective and your mindset when he's invited into, like, every single thing, and not even just, like, praying before practice, but each individual turn. Like, seriously, it really does make a difference, though.
Yes. Yeah, it really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. Okay, that's so cool. Now I would love to talk about right before the Olympics, right? Like you made the Olympic team, you're like, "Oh my gosh, 8-year-old me is like screaming,"
Like
right?
yeah.
Um, and wow, that was probably like you'll never forget that moment, I'm guessing. Like
Yeah, never.
it was
It was
amazing. Right.
mhm.
So it was like a huge moment, but at the same time, I feel like that moment comes with like, "Oh my gosh, but I actually have to like go compete at the
Right,
Olympics right now."
right.
And, like, I'm on a team with Simone Biles and Jordan Childs, and, like, I'm one of the youngest people at the Olympic Games, period.
Mhm.
Like, that also comes with a lot of stress. So, like, walk me through your headspace with that. Walk me through, like, how you invited God into that moment, because I know that was, like, definitely a mix of, like, a lot of excitement and a lot of, like, "Whoa, nerves, oh my
Yeah.
gosh,"
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah, it was definitely very exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time, but I really just had to try to, like, ground myself a little bit and stay as calm as possible. But honestly, like, literally the whole Olympics, I wasn't nervous. We went to Saint Omer. It was, like, northern France-ish kind of, and we were there for, like, 5-ish days. That was, like, really fun. It was so hot and stuff, but I had really just kind of found my groove and my routine and stuff, and then we went to the Olympic Village, and it was so fun just getting to experience the village and then seeing all the other countries and sports, just walking around, going through the dining hall, the arcade, the grocery store. So it was just really fun to see people, Olympic level athletes, just doing normal stuff, walking around, minding their business, being so
Right.
friendly. So it really just kind
Aw,
of made the Olympics that much better because it was like a huge family. It was like so weird, but it was so cool. And then I had really like had a bond with Suni and Jade. I don't know. Well, especially Suni because she would like ever since trials actually too. Like we were in the same group. So she was kind of like a big sister to me. She would just take me to the grocery store. She's like, "Are you hungry? You want to go get food?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." But just being with all those veterans, Simone, Suni, Jordan, and Jade, they really like switched my mental perspective and just seeing them train in the gym kind of made me want to be like that too. Like every turn they
right,
take, they're so focused, but then after they would not be so serious. They'd like have fun
right.
and like, talk and be lighthearted and stuff. So I was like, oh, like maybe I should try doing that too. They look like they're having so much fun. But yeah, I would just constantly talk to God in my little room because I'm a minor and I was a minor still then at the time. So
Right.
I was in my own room. So the village is like this apartment. So we're all in the same like house. We had a fridge, a living room, bathrooms and stuff. So we're all living in this on the same floor. It's just separate rooms. So I had my own room. I would just talk to God there and kind of just pray before every day, thanking him for every day and for the opportunities that he's given me to be at that in that spot at the Olympics. So it really just helped a lot. I would always read my Bible like every morning. I feel like my connection grew with God during the Olympics. So it was just a very special time. And then the nerves before
Yeah.
competing, obviously competing at the Olympics is very nerve-wracking. It's different lights. I've never like competed at a world stage, so it was
Wow.
a little bit different, but it was so exciting and it was just like a wow moment, like wow, I get to be here and God has put me in this position. So I'm just gonna really take ownership of it and do everything that I can to the best of my ability.
You have any, like, God moments from the Olympics that you remember, like, whether it was training, at the meet, like, just in your room? Do you like, have a moment that you remember that was like, "Oh, like, God is here, he is with me?"
I feel like I have a few.
Okay.
So in Saint Omer, we I was like really, like, on a roll. Like, I feel like I was hitting every bar routine, every beam routine, all my floor routines, my vaults were, like, the best they had ever been, and I was like, "Wow, like, God has really answered every prayer that I've, like, ever prayed for," and kind of just being in that environment too, but then also winning the Olympic gold, because I remember specifically, like, I would pray for that, like, almost every single night when I was younger, like,
Mhm.
I would love to win gold at the Olympics and stuff, so that prayer getting answered really meant the world to me, and just standing on that podium, it literally felt surreal. I was just on there and I was like, "There's no way that we're winning an Olympic gold medal right now." So it was kinda just like, wow, like, that was a very big God moment that I'm very grateful for. But yeah, I don't know, it was just, like,
That's
really
awesome.
cool. Mhm.
No, okay, so everything you're talking about reminds me so much of the verse Philippians 4:6, which is like, "Do not be anxious for anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, like bring your requests to God, right?
Yes.
And what you're saying reminds me of that so much because number 1, you talk about this, like, calmness that you had at the Olympics, which is, like, the biggest stage. So, like, that's the, like, be anxious for nothing part, right? Like,
Yes.
you're watching the girls that are setting the example before you, and you're like, "Okay, wait, I can do that, and I'm trusting God." I'm, spending every morning and day and night talking to him, just including him, and I'm not feeling those anxious feelings. And then we go into the prayer with the thankfulness. Like literally every question I've asked, you've started with like thankfulness to be where you are, to have made it to where you are, to for, your family to be protected and just
Right.
blessed and the opportunities and all of that. But then also you're not shying away from still asking God for what you want, right? Like
Right.
then there it ties in there like requests, like, bring your requests to God, like, he wants to provide that for you, but
Exactly.
at the same time, like, you have to understand his greatness and all he's done for you and experience that gratitude for that to, like, live out and to happen, and I
Yes.
love like, literally, I just was hearing that verse as you were talking about that because I was like, "This is a perfect example of, like, a lot of us are scared to ask God for things like that,
Right.
right? Just because
Yes.
either God has bigger things to do or it's a little bit like, "Oh, but could I even really do that? Like, I don't even know if that's worth asking," right? But, like,
Yeah.
no, he wants us to ask for those things, but combine it with so much gratitude and, like, humility and, like, being humble enough to know, like, where you are and that you have so much to be grateful for, like, where you are in that moment. Yeah,
Yes.
I love that. Okay, so along with that, do you have any specific to meet days, I guess? It might change, but do you have any, like, favorite worship song or, like, Bible verse that you kind of stick to or that really carries you through on meet days?
Yeah, so, okay, I don't like to listen really to music before I compete, like, while I'm getting ready, but my mom will
Mhm.
have something, like, playing on the TV or, like, on her phone, so it's kinda just like I'm in the bathroom and she's in the hotel, like, on the bed, and she's just playing music, so I'll kinda just, like, sing along, which I don't really like having it, like, right there in front of me, but in the background, I'm just, like, doing my makeup and stuff. My favorite worship song is "Hard Fought Hallelujah" by Brandon Lake, I'm pretty sure.
Such
And
a good one,
my
yeah.
Yeah, I love that song, and my favorite Bible verse is Jeremiah 29:11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." So, I like to carry that, like, with me in my head because, like, God's plan is always greater than ours. Like, you will have ups and downs in gymnastics and in life in general, so I think just really trusting in God and trusting that the plan that He has for you is going to work is very important because I've had my fair share of downs during this sport, and I've
Mhm.
always felt very stuck at times, and it's kinda like, "Oh, like, what's going on? Like, I don't know what's happening. Am I really gonna achieve this goal?" But really just trusting in him and letting go has been a very big motto, especially before I compete. And just trying not to like tense myself up because truly I'm not really the one fully in control. Like God has the wheel and he's the one doing all these things for my life. So I'm just here as a vessel to trust God. And I just hope that people can see Jesus through me and when I'm speaking or when I'm doing gymnastics, I kind of just want to be that person to draw people closer to God and their faith.
Yeah, I love that, and I saw in an interview, they were asking you after you won championships, "How are you feeling? Blah, blah, blah," and you said that you were going into each event, like, trusting that God would do your skills for you, kind of, like,
Yeah.
obviously, your body was doing them, but you
Yeah.
mentioned that, and I thought that was such a good, just, like, mindset of, like, "Okay, I've done all the work, but, like, there's still a level of trusting that God's gonna help me do these skills right now. When you
Right.
feel nervous and you feel some negative thoughts creep in, it's like, no, I can trust that God is gonna, like, help my body do the work, and I feel like that's exactly what you're talking about. So I
Yes,
love that.
exactly. Yep.
I love that. Okay, so another thing about all of a sudden being at the Olympics is like some fame, right? Like a lot of
Yeah.
attention and a lot of media, and especially going from the COVID Olympics, which was like not that. And then obviously 2024 was like, okay, it's the first Olympics where like people can go again.
Right.
Whoa. That draws just a lot of attention, a lot of eyes, busyness, chaos, like social media. So, how did you invite God into that part? Because that's like aside from the flips that you get to do, that's like outside of the gym. How did you keep him first?
Yeah, I will always keep him first by never forgetting all that he's done for me and my family and just getting us here because truly he's just been by our side. He's always with us and I can always feel his presence. And I feel myself always like talking to him before I make a decision too. So it's kind of just like whether that decision is like posting something on social media, like should I be posting this or should I just like not? And just like get like say getting what to eat or whatever like is this
Mhm.
going to nourish my body the right way that I want it to, so it's kind of just like little things like that. And I like to, especially on Instagram, because I feel like I have the majority of my followers on there, and I will just post something here and there about God or like a quote or something or a Bible verse that really helps inspire younger athletes, because I think that younger athletes struggle with confidence sometimes, because I know I did for
Sure.
sure. So I kind of just
Yeah.
want to be that inspiration towards them. And then on my GK Elite Leos, I put like Bible verses on the side sometimes for
Oh,
when
that's
I compete.
awesome.
Yeah, so if you go to like championships or classics or even last year's championship or like 2024 championships and classics, I also have some Bible verses on there just to remind myself, but to also show athletes about God. So I kind of just want to try to push him out there as much as possible, because I feel like as you grow in fame, sometimes you can forget about God, which I really didn't want to do. I knew,
Right.
like, my mom would tell me too. She's like, "You're gonna get famous when you're older." She would always tell me that. She's like, "You're gonna get famous when you're older. Just remember all that God has done for you." So that's kind of always been stuck in the back of my mind as well. So that's truly helped me as well.
Yeah, I love that that was, like, always on your radar,
Yeah.
and how your way to, like, combat that was to just bring him into the chaos. Instead of, like, shying away from the chaos, it was like, "No, I'm gonna go out onto this big stage and, like, have a Bible verse on my
Mhm.
hip." Like, that's what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna show the world in whoever whatever social media and
Yes.
fans and whoever is there, I'm just gonna talk about this and I'm gonna show this, and that's how I'm gonna invite him in because that definitely does, like, help your mind stay calm and your mind focus on him because it's what you're talking about, it's what you're wearing, like,
Yeah.
that that means a lot,
Yeah.
for sure.
Exactly.
Okay, so I now wanna shift gears a little bit because you have a collegiate career coming
Yes.
up, which is so exciting, and I can't wait for you, but I would love to hear about how God was involved in your decision with choosing LSU.
Yeah. So for me, when I stepped foot on that campus, it was kinda like it all clicked, and, it just felt like a home to me. The coaches, the staff, the athletes, all the team like, all the girls on that team were just so welcoming and so loving and supportive, and they were all just so sweet. And then being in the gym, I saw how the coaches, like, treat their athletes, and it was just like this huge, like, family. And I was like, "This is exactly where I wanna be." And, like, I did not choose LSU because of the NIL or the money or the big school or whatever, no. I chose it because of the coaches, the athletes. It's just such a, like, team and home and supporting environment that I really wanna be in when I'm in college. But then also, I kind of felt like God's presence in, like, LSU and in that area. So I feel like that's kind of the place where I wanted to be, especially because it was my last visit and I had been to Florida and OU, and I was like, okay, these are really great schools, but let's see what LSU has to offer. So I kind of went there as my
Yeah.
last school, and it just felt like the place to be in. And when I go to college, I just want to continue to inspire younger athletes and to just really strengthen my faith, which I think they're pretty good at as well because they have some Bible studies and that they do as a team together. And I think that's a really great spot to learn and study the word. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
No, yeah, and I've experienced that, like, here at Georgia too, like, when our
that's so
team
good.
comes together and does Bible studies, it's more powerful than just a regular
Right,
old Bible study, like,
right.
there's something different about it because you really do experience so much with these people because you I mean, for us, like, we're in the gym at 6:30 AM for treatment almost
Yeah,
every morning, and then
yeah,
practice, 3 to 4 hours, and then lift, and then more treatment, and then class, and then we're doing that basically every day, and then, we're traveling on the weekends, and we're
right.
all together, and we're in the hotel together, and it's so fun, but it's really special to have a bond that's deeper than just, like, doing all those things together. So when you have that faith circle too, it's really, really cool, so and I know that LSU is great at that also. I know that they've had, like, at SECs a few years ago, like, before I was even in college, they had, like, all the teams come together and, like, do a
Yes.
Bible study with, like, all the SEC teams, and I think that's so awesome, and I can't wait for, like, you to be here too so that
Thank
hopefully, like, we
you.
can do all of that together, um,
Exactly, yes.
and just, invite the Lord into, like, the big stage that we have.
Yes.
But what's the thing that you're most excited about with transitioning from elite to college gymnastics?
I think I'm most excited for, like, the environment switch, and it's kind of just, like, this huge team, like, group
Right.
competition because
Yeah, 'cause,
in
I mean, we were
elite.
talking about just before we started the recording, like, you do
Yeah.
a lot of training by yourself or, like,
Yes. Yes. Like, I train with my teammates, and it's very fun, but once you compete, it's all individual.
Right,
So,
right,
it's like, it's just for you, which, I mean, that's why I chose elite. Like, I love elite. I wanna get to, the Olympics, individuals, but then for college and collegiate gymnastics, it's such a team sport that it's kind of like, okay, I'm doing this for my team, not just for myself. And I think that's really great because in elite, you also have team events. So you kind of learn in both of those aspects because in elite, you're like, okay, well, I have individuals, but I also have a team event. So say like today I'm competing in a team event, it's like, okay, I'm doing this for myself, but also for my team to get this score. And
right.
I think it's just really fun to like have fun with your teammates and rely on your teammates and really cheer each other on and have such great sportsmanship. And I think that's what I'm really excited for and just spending time with that group and
Yeah,
just having such a great time and like putting in the hard work but also having so much fun at the same time and just learning and going to class because I've never like I went to public school up until 3rd grade, so I've never like been in school really, so I
yeah.
think that's going to be a really fun transition. But yeah, I'm just really excited overall.
That's so good. I'm happy for you, and I'm excited for you too. Hesley, this has been so awesome. I've loved this conversation, but to wrap us up, I would love to hear what your final piece of advice is for a young gymnast that's trying to navigate their faith and their sport.
My final piece of advice is to never give up and always believe in yourself, but always trust in God because He has the best plan for you. He knows exactly what He's doing since before He's even put you on this earth. So just try to trust in God and trust His plan and have a great support system, whether that's your family or your friends, your coaches, whatever that may be, but always have fun in what you're doing. And I hope you all enjoy the journey.
Yes, I love that. That was so sweet.
Thank you.
So
Thank
sweet.
you.
Well, thank you so much, Hesley, for coming on this episode of Being Boldly. And thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure that you follow and subscribe so that you can continue on this journey with me. Thank you guys. Bye.